Do you remember your first car ride?
Well, considering I was only 2 or 3 days old, riding home from the hospital after being born, definitely not.
Well, for most children in Ethiopia, the first time in a car is usually a memorable event.
Yeah? Why is that?
Stay tuned to find out. We have a boy named Netzanet who is going through some struggles with his family right now. We discovered Netzanet when he was 5 months old. He had no name at the time because it is customary in Ethiopia to not name a child if the parents believe the child will not survive.
Natsanet is now 9 years old. He lives with his mother and his grandmother. His mother struggles with mental illness, and his grandmother is elderly and in poor health. Natsanet's mother is sick with a chronic illness as well. Her mental illness is also chronic, and she recently disappeared and abandoned Natsanet for a week.
Two of our social workers went to Netsanet's house recently to check up on him and discovered that both his mother and grandmother are feeling quite ill, and his mother's mental illness is troubling her right now. She is withdrawn and despondent and is not interacting well with Netsanet.
Our social workers reported that there is no one in the home currently who is able to give attention and care for Natsanet, who is still just a young child.
Netsanet's social worker has asked for prayers for the family and especially for the little boy caught in the middle. As I mentioned earlier, a first car ride is typically memorable for a child in Ethiopia. Riding in a car is uncommon for the average Ethiopian. While cars are more prevalent in the big cities like the capital city of Addis Ababa, the most common form of local transport is simply walking.
Last week we also talked about the Bajaj.
Yes, riding in a bajaj is another common form of transport. Even so, most people still walk locally.
Most Ethiopians do not own a car, and while it's easy to rent a car and driver or hop on the bus or Bajaj, these modes of transport all cost money that many Ethiopians don't have.
Because of this, it's common for a child to be unfamiliar with car rides and to not experience one until much later in life.
We recently accepted an absolutely precious little girl into the sponsorship program named Seda. Seda is in a difficult situation because not only does her mother struggle to support the family, her mother has given up on life and is extremely depressed. She is prepared to pass and brought Seda to the ministry in the hopes that we would look after her when that happens.
Seda recently had an opportunity to take a car ride in a bajaj when a missionary visited and treated her to her first vehicle ride. We're going to take a look as she takes in this new experience.
What a sweetheart. Her eyes are so wide and she looks very inquisitive and alert.
Despite her circumstances, she still has youthful innocence, and we pray that sponsorship will be available to provide her with the stability she needs to help her continue to navigate the challenges in her life as she grows. One of the subjects we prioritize at the BCI Academy is English. English is taught in all grade levels.
Our grade 5 and 6 students recently completed an assignment where they wrote short stories in English. In addition to writing their stories, they practiced their spoken English by reading the stories in front of the class.
We are always in need of missionaries to teach spoken English to our students. No experience is required. Any English-speaking missionary is welcome to spend time with the students at the BCI Academy. The students learn English from non-native speakers, and it's always helpful when native English speakers are able to spend time with them.
The children have an opportunity to practice their written English skills when they write to their sponsors.
Yes, and sponsors will notice that early on, the children only include pictures. As they grow, they will write in Amharic, and their social worker will translate their letters into English. By high school, most are comfortable writing in English. It's not always perfect, but they can typically communicate their message.
Interestingly, university courses are taught in English in Ethiopia. It's a language that helps connect Ethiopians to many parts of the world.
And it also helps connect our students at the BCI Academy because amongst themselves they speak so many different dialects.
You know, we hear a lot about the little ones awaiting sponsorship, and their faces always tug at my heart, but I have to say, I'm quite heartbroken by Deborah's story.
Deborah is 12 years old and lives with her mother and father. Her sister recently went away to school. Both of her parents are chronically ill, and her father smokes and drinks daily, which causes unrest in the family.
The family lives temporarily rent-free in the government housing. They have one bed, a mattress, no light, and no electricity. The cramped quarters expose Deborah to high levels of secondhand smoke, and she struggles with chronic sinus and digestive issues.
We have a unique opportunity to share some dialogue that we recently had with Deborah.
When asked, "What makes you happy?" Deborah responded, "There's always bad news from our home. Most of the time, there is no food. My dad is always sick and can't work. My mom also, her right hand doesn't work as a daily laborer even. The only income in our home is my dad's pension of 1,000 birr, which is $30 per month. I'm always sick because of gastric and sinus problems because my dad smokes in our home. My mom always quarrels with him because of this. Everything in this world is not comfortable for me. I cry and ask God why when my dad is drunk and disturbs us. Sometimes when I am hungry and get back from school, there is no food in my home. I cry and sleep. That's the only thing I can do. I need to make my mom happy. She suffers a lot for me. She gives me food even though she is hungry much. She takes her medicine with no food. She hurts herself always for me and my sister. Crying is the only way I get relief. The thing that makes me happy is my mother's happiness."
When asked if she has friends, Deborah stated, "No, I don't have and I don't want friends. Last time I tried to have friends, they were always talking about television programs, about their vacation time, how they enjoy their weekend time, and so on. That's not my lifestyle, but I can't tell them, so it's better to be alone. Friends make my life worse. My one and only friend is my sister, but now she is far away from me."
The story alone touches my heart so much, but seeing the sorrow behind Deborah's eyes drives the urgency of the situation home. If you can open your heart to Deborah and provide sponsorship, please visit our website at www.blessingthechildren.org or call us at 1-888-269-2719 to begin changing Deborah's life.
This past Christmas, we were given the opportunity to gift match and provide a new pair of shoes to a child for each outfit donated.
The children were taken to a local shop to pick out an outfit and a pair of shoes of their choosing.
As we mentioned in a previous episode, gift giving is not a prevalent custom for Ethiopian Christmas. The children are so blessed when their sponsors provide them with gifts of essential items for Christmas, such as clothing, shoes, and extra grain support.
Thank you to all the sponsors who made these smiles possible for going the extra mile for your children to brighten their Christmas. So what can we look forward to next time?
We mentioned today that English is taught and emphasized at the BCI Academy.
Yes, and how Ethiopian university courses are taught in English.
Want to take a guess on how many languages there are in Ethiopia?
Well, by the way you asked that question, I'm going to guess a lot. 20? 30? 50?
Not quite, but you're getting warmer. Be sure to check in with us next week and we will learn how Ethiopia is a land of many languages. In the meantime, visit our website and social media, linked in the description box below.
Like and subscribe, leave comments and questions.
Have a blessed day.